A man who worked for multiple school systems is now charged with sexual abuse. Police say the victim was under 12.
A state report claims there are major achievement gaps in Fayette County schools. What the district is trying to do to fix the problem.
A mystery along a southern Kentucky road. The unusual discovery that has people in that area asking questions tonight.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. Disturbing accusations tonight against a Central Kentucky assistant high school basketball coach. He's charged with sexually abusing a child.
The Woodford County grand jury indicted 58-year-old Larry Watts. We have learned he was a boys' assistant basketball coach at Woodford County High School. He also had worked in the Fayette County school system. Victor Puente is tracking the investigation in our top story at 6.
Larry Watts is an assistant basketball coach here at Woodford County High School. The superintendent tells me there's been a lot of discussion about his job since they learned of his arrest. Watts was indicted Wednesday on 2 counts of sexual abuse with a victim under 12 years of age. The Woodford County superintendent says they just learned of the charges yesterday when Watts was arrested. They've been discussing what steps they would take. He says they're most concerned about ensuring student safety. Versailles police aren't saying much about the investigation that led to the charges. The indictment says that abuse happened with one victim from May to November of 2001. Versailles police do say this isn't the end of the investigation targeting Watts, and there could be more charges coming.
You'll take the case where it leads you. At this time, I don't believe that any former students are the victims, in this particular crime.
Watts also worked for the Fayette County school system between 2013 and 2015. They tell me he was a monitor at Morton Middle School and a teacher's aide at Cardinal Valley Elementary. They tell me they didn't renew his contract after the last school year. In Woodford County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Now, Watts is being held on a $25,000 full cash bond. We're tracking the investigation into a fire at a home in downtown Lexington. It started about 3:30 this afternoon on West Short Street. Firefighters say a man was inside with his therapy dog and 2 cats. He got out safely and firefighters rescued the pets. The fire is now out, but firefighters are keeping extra crews on scene because of the heat.
We have an additional EC unit added to the run, so they help them cool down and also give them water. We do have a fan that missed the firefighters, and by adding a couple additional engine companies, we can cycle crews through so they can get cooled off before going back inside.
And no one was injured. Firefighters think the cause of the fire is electrical.
A car crashed into a fire hydrant, sending thousands of gallons of water onto a Lexington street this afternoon. It happened on Sharkey Way off Leestown Road. Firefighters say the driver lost control and hit the hydrant, knocking it out of the ground. Firefighters believe 1,000 gallons of water poured out each minute until the hydrant could be turned off. Workers at nearby businesses noticed low water pressure for much of the afternoon, but the problems didn't last too long.
You have to have water to run a restaurant. If you don't, you really have to shut down. So we were really glad that it was just a very short amount of time. We were able to get everything going and keep everything sanitary. That's the most important thing.
Sharkey Way was closed, but it has since reopened, and water service in the area is back to normal.
A great day to spend at the pool. It has been another hot and humid day across the Bluegrass, but tonight we're also tracking some showers and maybe some storms. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender.
Yeah, a lot of folks dealing with some of those scattered showers and storms, bypassing most of the Lexington Metro, at least so far in that Interstate 64 corridor. Though on our live sky cam, I've decided to switch directions with our cam. We've been looking at those storms to our south. Now we're focusing on what's going on well to our north and starting to see at least some of the tops of some of those showers and storms into northern Kentucky. 86 right now, Lexington. That's really not bad, folks. We were into the mid and upper 80s all day. Humidity, though, is way, way up there, so it's feeling hotter than it actually is. This is a seasonal brand of heat and humidity we get each and every summer around Kentucky. Live First Alert Defender, thunderstorms starting to flare up just a little bit here between Liberty and Somerset. That'll head over toward the Science Hill area. That's a very small thunderstorm, but it's a noisy one that is working its way across the Casey and Pulaski County line. A little more thunder and lightning now in the northeastern parts of Laurel County. That extends to the northeast in broken fashion. A little thunder and lightning here between Salyersville and West Liberty. Downtown Lexington, Metro, not a whole lot, though we go to our north. And we're picking up on some more in the way of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. That's why the I-64 corridor so far has been shut out. We'll see if that continues to be the case. Weather headlines. Feeling like the tropics out there. Temperatures are going to stay on the toasty side. And guys, storms that will crank up over the next 7 days will bring some heavy rains. And I'll pinpoint that when I come back in a few minutes.
A Lexington woman who admitted taking part in a brutal kidnapping learned her sentence today. Jennifer Washington pled guilty to misdemeanor terroristic threatening. The judge gave her 2 years probation. In 2013, investigators say Washington helped her husband Alex kidnap another woman. Police say the victim was then duct taped, gagged, and assaulted. A man who admitted robbing 6 banks, including 2 in Lexington, was also sentenced today. A federal judge gave 49-year-old William McBride 18 years in prison. Between June and August of last year, investigators say McBride robbed banks in Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, and Indiana. Among those banks, Chase Banks on Nicholasville Road and Clays Mill Road in Lexington. Investigators say McBride stole $21,000 in the robberies.
It's a stern warning from the state to Fayette County Public Schools. Fix the problems you have or we'll do it ourselves. The state education commissioner wrote a harsh letter last month to Fayette County School Board Chair asking why nothing has changed. The letter comes on the heels of 2 disappointing evaluations from the state. As Miranda Combs explains new at 6, state leaders hope the second time is the charm.
Sometimes words on paper hit home harder than words said. They can't be taken back or forgotten.
This is the only letter I've ever written to a school board that really was this sharply worded.
Education Commissioner Dr. Terry Holliday will be retiring at the end of the summer. No time to waste, but that's exactly what he says has been happening in Fayette County.
When you talk about this diagnostic, you seem frustrated.
Yeah, I'm frustrated that the passion and the sense of urgency was not there in the district office.
This is the diagnostic report for Fayette County schools. It's not the first, it's the second in as many years, pointing out achievement gaps across the district and spotlighting deficiencies at Bryan Station High School.
You would think a district with Fayette's resources would jump in and get right to work to support that school. But we go back a year later, and the school, the parents, the teachers, they're telling us they're just not getting the support that they need.
But I think we sort of made the assumption that progress was being made, that people were in place, and perhaps we needed to monitor that in a different way.
Fayette County School Board Chair John Price says the state's diagnostic was a wake-up call.
I think our focus this year is going to be a lot more intentional and a lot more collaborative, and I think that's been part of the breakdown in the past.
He says there's been a lot of distractions, a state audit, rezoning, board disagreements, a superintendent leaving, and in turn, a superintendent search.
When you're responding to all the fires, if you will, sometimes, it takes away from the focus of what should be most important, which is student achievement and instruction.
Meanwhile, Dr. Holliday says the achievement gap in the district continues to widen.
If I run a list of the 100 lowest performing schools, 33 of those schools are in Jefferson and Fayette. And we have got to, we're not going to turn around the achievement gap unless Jefferson and Fayette, help us make that happen.
Schools that are low performing year after year after year, if you check back and see, they're the schools that are not getting the proper funding.
NAACP Lexington President William Saunders says the problem is school administration for not meeting needs to narrow the achievement gap.
So I'm holding the administration accountable.
I feel like the board is realizing the need for equitable or a different allocation of resources to better meet the needs of our students in our high poverty schools.
Price says a lot of positive will come from the negatives written in this letter, which is the hope of the man who wrote it. In Lexington, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
Price says Bryan Station is expected to move out of priority status at the end of this year. The principal at Bryan Station retired last week. That job is now posted. Price also said the school board will be micromanaging issues, at least for the short term.
It's something you normally would not find in Kentucky, so you can imagine the surprise some people in Laurel County received when they saw an alligator there. And the gator wasn't alive when it was found in the middle of Progress Road near London. And as Phil Pendleton tells us, no one knows where it came from.
In the middle of the road where it's common to see big trucks carrying goods back and forth.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Just wondering how it got here.
A dead alligator found in the middle of the road by a truck driver.
I was inside the office. I'm third shift dispatcher, and one of the drivers here for us, he had came down the road and said that he had seen a gator in the road. I was kind of shocked at first and kind of laughed a little bit. Then he said no, he said, I'm not kidding.
Stephen Yaden and a mechanic went outside, and sure enough, there in the middle of the road was a 40-inch long gator.
So we grabbed it and took it in and called the Laurel County Dispatch Office, and they came out.
The animal was taken back to the garage where they took pictures.
One of the officers said, I'm going to have to take pictures of this because I know nobody ain't going to believe this. You know?
Fish and wildlife officials say finds like this one are actually common this time of the year. People bring back gators from Florida, then release them once they get too big or too dangerous. Police suspect a car hit the animal, but it's really not known where it came from.
That's true. We're all just speculating. We'd like to know, too.
We're told that London police picked the animal up, but no one was able to tell us what happened to it. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Fish and wildlife leaders say it's illegal to have alligators, or what they call inherently dangerous animals, in Kentucky.
Corrections workers at the Fayette County Detention Center have been training for crisis situations. The National Institute of Corrections picked the jail to receive a crisis intervention team development grant. For the past week, employees have learned crisis intervention techniques to follow in dealing with mentally ill offenders. Jail leaders say the training will pay off.
They've learned safety first, protecting themselves, protecting the inmate, and trying to get a resolution that's both good for us and the incarcerated inmate.
The Fayette County Detention Center is the first correctional facility in Kentucky to receive this specialized mental health training. Many employees at the Kentucky Community and Technical College system will soon receive a raise.
The KCTCS Board of Regents approved a budget for the 2015-2016 school year today. The budget includes a raise for all full-time faculty and staff. They will receive a 1% or $1,000 salary increase, whichever is greater. KCTCS leaders also say there will not be a tuition increase for the upcoming school year.
Some police officers spent the day on the roof of a Lexington donut shop. It was all for a good cause. Lexington Police, UK Police, and agents from the ATF camped out on the roof of Krispy Kreme on Richmond Road. The Cops on Donut Shops event raises money for Special Olympics Kentucky. The money will help athletes pay for travel expenses and equipment.
We're giving adults and children with intellectual disabilities the opportunity to participate in the state games and do other activities. So again, whatever we can do to give them a chance to show courage and determination and grit, we're all about that.
You can make donations to Special Olympics Kentucky at any time. We have information on our website, WKYT.com.